Hey Bree, how's it going? I see that you got our RFI. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. What do you have on deck to say?
Hello, I'm sales executive from Cybershield Cybersecurity. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. I've been looking forward to learning more about Nebula systems and exploring how Cybershield could help enhance your cybersecurity strategy. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I'm very interested to hear what Cybershield has to offer.
I appreciate that. Before we jump in, I wanted to say congratulations. I saw that Nebula Systems was recently recognized in the tech world for its rapid expansion to the cloud services market. That's exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a huge project for us. So, yeah, we've migrated almost 70% of our operations into the cloud, and that's still climbing. And while that's exciting, it's also brought in a ton of new security challenges, and hence the reason why we're looking for a new security system.
Cloud expansion opens great opportunities, but also increases exposure to cyber threats. Just to confirm, this meeting is to discuss Nebula Systems' current cybersecurity needs and explore if Cybershield might be a good fit. If at any point you feel like it's not, that's perfectly fine. We can wrap up early. I've set aside about 30 minutes for us. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for taking me into consideration for this. I actually do have a meeting right after this, so I do appreciate it if you can keep it on track.
Great, thank you. So, to start, could you tell me what motivated Nebula Systems to look into new cybersecurity solutions right now?
Yeah, so our IT security team has been using a product called Data Guardian for nearly a decade. Early on, it was great because of its simple interface and it was very reliable. However, recently the company was acquired and they changed their licensing model and they reduced their support. So prices went up and response times are a lot slower.
That sounds frustrating, especially with the kind of uptime and responsiveness you need as a global organization. Can you tell me more about how those support delays have affected your operations?
Absolutely. So a few months ago, we had an incident where there was a phishing attempt that triggered multiple account lockouts. Now, in the past, Data Guardian's team was great and they would have resolved it in 15, 20 minutes tops. However, this time it took them about 3 hours and it took us many hours just to reach a live agent. Luckily, it didn't cause a data breach. However, it did disrupt our customer service for over half the day, and that's just unacceptable.
Completely understandable. Downtime, even if brief, can cost heavily, both financially and reputationally. You mentioned price increases too. Roughly, what are you paying per user for a Data Guardian license now?
So I'm not able to actually tell you exactly how much we're paying, but I will let you know that a higher cost doesn't necessarily mean an issue as long as the service matches it.
That makes sense. At Cybershield, we've heard similar stories, companies paying more while losing dedicated support. I'm curious, aside from cost and support, are there any other particular features or improvements you're hoping to find in a new solution?
Yeah, right now we're looking for stronger endpoint protection and real-time threat detection. So currently, Data Guardian's monitoring tools, they feel very outdated, and our IT team, they just want more visibility into what's happening across all of our devices in real time and not just after an event has occurred.
Got it. Real-time insights are critical, especially for remote and hybrid teams. Cybershield actually specializes in 24/7 threat detection powered by machine learning. It tracks user behavior and network patterns so it can identify potential intrusions before they escalate.
That's awesome. So does that include alerts for internal threats? Like, for example, if there is a compromised employee account?
Yeah, exactly. Cybershield systems use behavioral analytics to flag suspicious login patterns or unauthorized data movement, even from within the organization. That's become a big differentiator for us with global companies.
That's good to know. Yeah, we've had a few internal phishing incidents recently, so yeah, having proactive detection sounds very promising for us.
You mentioned earlier that you've expanded cloud operations. Do you currently have any separate tools for cloud and endpoint security, or is it all handled through Data Guardian?
Yeah, right now we use Data Guardian for our endpoint protection. However, we use Azure for our in-office protection. And managing both of these systems has been very difficult to manage, so we prefer an integrated platform such as yours.
That's something Cybershield could really help. streamline. Our unified security console brings endpoint, cloud, and network security into a single dashboard, so your analysis can monitor everything from one place. It also automates compliance reports, saving your team hours each week.
Yeah, that'd definitely be a plus. Right now, our compliance reporting is all done manually, and that just takes our IT guys way too much time copy and pasting everything between all of our systems.
You're not alone. We hear that all the time. Out of curiosity, how large is your current IT security team?
Right now, I want to say we have about 20 people spread globally.
That's a solid team. So having tools that can scale and stay synchronized across time zones would probably be essential for you.
Yeah, it is. It's one of our biggest challenges is to ensure that everyone has consistent data across all of our regions.
Understood. Cybershield's platform is a cloud native, so every team, regardless of location, gets synchronized updates and shared alerts. No local installations or version mismatches.
That's awesome. Now, I actually do have a question for you. How does Cybershield handle support? So I know earlier that you mentioned that there's 24/7 detection. However, what about how you handle human support?
Great question. Cybershield offers 24/7 live support. You can always reach a real cybersecurity analysis, not a chatbot. Every enterprise client also gets a dedicated customer success manager and quarterly threat audits.
That's good to hear. Yeah, with data guarding, we used to have that. Now it's just ticket based, and we find that a lot of these new systems are just ticket based. So it's nice to hear that we have a dedicated manager as well as live detection and live chatting with you guys.
Ticket based is a common shift in the industry, unfortunately. Out of curiosity, what would you say is the most important factor for you right now? Cost, innovation, reliability, or support?
Um, I'd say reliability and support. We want something that's very reliable, obviously. However, we all support might be the most important thing. We'd rather pay for something that gives us everything we need when we need it, and if we have any questions, that we can reach out to you.
That's completely valid. Cybersecurity is one area where reliability truly pays off. If you don't mind me asking, how are cybersecurity investment decisions typically made at Nebula Systems?
Yeah, so after I put out an RFI, I usually present all of those vendor options to our CIO and our CFO, and then once we're done reviewing those demos, we'll bring in some of our IT managers for feedback before we make the final decision.
That's a thorough process. Would it make sense for me to schedule the tailored demo for your team next week so your managers can see how CyberShield dashboard and analytic tools work?
Yeah, that'd be great. If you'd be able to, though, could you send over some of the materials beforehand so that I can send them out and then we can all review them beforehand?
I'll send you a meeting recap, feature overview, and a demo invite right after this call. How does Tuesday at 2 p.m. sound for the walkthrough?
Um, yeah, yeah, Tuesday at 2 p.m. works perfectly.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate how open you've been about Nebula's challenges.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and tailoring this to what we actually need. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to offer us next week.
Perfect. I'll send you the details shortly. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk soon.
All right, bye. Thank you so much.